So for our first DIY project, we are going to be using those really fun skeleton hand tongs that I found at Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some spray paint and glitter that match each other. I chose gold, of course. You're also going to need some clear acrylic spray, and I was going to use spray adhesive for this project, but at the last minute I decided to use Mod Podge. That is why there is an image of Mod Podge over what would have been a spray adhesive can of glue. So anyway, that is all we need to get started, so let's get right into this project. So to begin our first project, you are going to take your skeleton hands and you are going to place them on an area that you can spray paint on. So for this project, I did decide to do 2 coats on either side. So 2 coats on the front, 2 coats on the back, and make sure that you do this in a well-ventilated area or in a space that you're not going to be like enclosed in. I did do mine in the garage, but I had the door open and everything like that. So definitely do it in a well-ventilated area, and also make sure to have something down. This is a paint drop. It is protecting my space and whatnot. So pretty self-explanatory. Just give your tongs 2 coats of your color spray paint that you chose. So then after they were dried, I took my Mod Podge and I kind of did this like in sections. So I did the hands first, but you're just going to take your sponge brush and your Mod Podge and you're just going to give it a nice thick coat of Mod Podge just to make sure that the glue really adheres to it and really stays on. So as you can see, that is what I am doing here. I did not realize that I was completely blocking the camera until of course I was editing. So yeah, and you can see the nice glitter spill that I just did right there. But yeah, pretty self-explanatory, pretty basic. I did kind of do it in sections. So I did the hand first, then the next like little bone area. I know that sounds so weird, of course. And then once I did dump the glitter and I put it on the plate, I would recycle the glitter and put it back in the container just to use it and kind of save it because the glitter is still fine. So yeah, and you're going to be able to have like this glitter for a long, long time because I've had the same thing of gold glitter and I have glittered so many things and I've had it forever. I literally bought another one because I thought I was going to need some more and I didn't realize I still had so much left. So anyway, again, I'm just repeating the step over and over again. And if you do have spots that don't have any glitter, definitely feel free to take your sponge brush and sort of just add a little bit more glue to that area and pour glitter on. You'll be fine. But yeah, so that's kind of what that looks like if you can see right there. And then this is the next part where I am moving on to the second hand, of course. So this is that same thing. You can kind of see this one a little bit better than the first one, but I am just taking my Mod Podge and of course just my sponge brush and sort of evenly, but also putting it on pretty thickly on the hand. So yeah, there you go. You can kind of see it a little bit better than the first one. So there's that. Moving on to the next little section. I just thought these turned out so cute. You guys will see it in a minute, but they turned out really, really great. And I'm so excited. There's so many different possibilities you can use for these. Of course, you're not going to use these to eat from or to serve food from anymore. They are now like a decorative piece. They are no longer a food utensil. So do not serve food with these. This is just for decorative purposes only. So again, here is just that bottom area. And I actually did leave the little spot where my hand is holding it non-glittered. I will go back in and do it, but for the sake of the video, I just decided to skip that part just to save myself a little bit of time. But basically, once the Mod Podge did dry and the glitter dried, I took my clear acrylic spray and I did seal in the glitter so I didn't have any glitter fall out. And now when I move them around or I use them or pack them away, all of the glitter will stay on the tongs. I won't need to re-glitter them or anything like that. So yeah, I did give it a nice hefty coat on both sides of the hand. So definitely feel free to layer it on there. Definitely get a lot on your hands just so you can have a nice even finish. So this is just what the final product looks like. I am so happy with the outcome. I thought it'd be so fun to stick these really creepy skeleton hands, but also make them really like chic and glittery and fun and stick them in a pumpkin bouquet of flowers. I love this. This is totally my color scheme and I'm really, really happy with how this like craft ended up turning out in the end. So yeah, that is that. So for our next DIY project, we are going to be using those really awesome hanging, dangling skeletons that I found at Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some spray paint. I picked pink, of course. You're also going to need a hot glue gun and some hot glue, some scissors, some string, ribbon is optional, and also some gems. That part is optional. If you decide not to do the gems, you don't really need the hot glue gun, but as for now, that is what I decided to choose. So let me just show you what I had in mind for these skeletons. So to begin, I am just going to take my pink spray paint. This is from Krylon. I swear by Krylon usually with all of their items. I say usually because there was an item I had an issue with later on. We'll talk about that on our last craft. But basically, I did just take my skeletons. I put them again on a different paint drop, and I did do multiple coats on either side. So I did decide to start with the back side first and then do the front side. So as you can see here, I did just flip them over once they are dried, do the next side, and then once that coat was dried, I still wasn't happy with with the coverage on it. So I did at least 2 coats. I don't think I did 3. Offhand, I don't remember doing 3, but I know for a fact that I did 2 coats on either side. So that is just what that looks like. And yeah, it probably could have used more paint, to be honest, just so it had like a nice even coat. And you could certainly seal it if you wanted to, just to make sure that the paint stays on a lot better. But as you can see here, I did take my string and measure 2 pieces the same length, and then I just stuck it through the little loop on the top of the skeleton's head and knotted it multiple times just so I could hang these skeletons from something. I thought this was so fun, and I did do multiple knots just to make sure that the little string did not come undone. But basically, this next step is optional, but I decided to take my hot glue gun, add some hot glue to the little eye sockets, and glue down 2 really fun iridescent gems as eyeballs. I thought this was so fun. This definitely made it so much more like girly and like glamorous. I just thought this was so cute. It definitely made kind of like a morbid piece of decor into something that was actually kind of cute and also kind of fun as well. So I thought it was great. I loved adding the gems. And as you can see here, I am just doing the string on the other side as well. So these are great. I cannot wait to use these in my decor. And I just thought they were really, really fun. So there is that. Again, adding some more glue in the eye socket, and then of course adding some more gems. So I had a bunch of gems left over, some from some Disney ears that I made in the springtime of this year. So I had a bunch. I thought, why not add some little gems for eyeballs? So that is what they look like. I did have a clip of this, but my memory card corrupted last night, so I did not get to show you the actual clip, but I thought pictures worked just fine. It's basically the exact same thing, exact same clip, but just in picture form. So that is what they look like. I'm super obsessed, and I cannot wait to hang these in my room. So for our next DIY craft, you're going to need this really awesome skull on a pedestal decor piece that I found at Dollar Tree. Such a good deal for only $1. And you're also going to need some spray paint. I ended up not using the gold spray paint, but I did use the pink and the white. Something was wrong with the white one because it was kind of spraying out like little balls of paint. It was really weird. So I'm definitely going to have to find a new seller for paint. You're also going to need a hot glue gun and some gems. Of course, that part is optional again, but you know me, I love to make it glittery and a lot more fabulous. So to begin, I did take my white Krylon spray paint, and I'm going to be spray painting the actual pedestal part of this decor piece. As you can see, I did get white on the skull head. It's not a big deal. You will be covering that, so it really doesn't matter. But I think I did do 2 coats just because, again, it was kind of just spraying weird, and it was a little like splotchy, I guess you could say. But after I did do my second coat, I did take a piece of like computer printer paper. I tore it in half, and then I took some masking tape, added it to the straight side of the paper, and we're going to kind of make like a little makeshift tarp. So I did kind of fold the paper in the middle, just kind of cinched it like that to make it a lot smaller, and then you're going to wrap it around the base of the actual like skull itself, just so that we don't get any of our pink paint on the actual skull or on the actual pedestal. We just want to get it on the skull area. So I did add some more tape just to kind of hold the paper down, but as you can see here, I am just going in with my pink spray paint and giving the skull a nice thick coat of paint. I did have a little bit of paint drips, but it wasn't something that was super noticeable, so I'm glad I put the little paper over the pedestal just so that there wasn't any pink drips on the actual pedestal itself. So this is the first coat, and I don't know if it was just the plastic that the actual skull was made of, but it certainly did not want to hold the paint that well, so I think I ended up doing 2 or 3 coats, and as you can see here, I am just pointing out some paint drips. But again, I did do multiple coats just because it wasn't really like a full even coat. It was really interesting. So I did do multiple coats in the long run, just FYI. I don't know how many I actually filmed, put in here. I might have just done the 2. So yeah, once the first coat is dry, definitely go in and add a second coat for sure, at least. Again, it could just be the plastic, but I use this pink paint for a lot of different crafts. So I don't think it was the can of paint as far as this one goes. So definitely add multiple layers. But once you are done spray painting that, take off the little like makeshift paint tarp around the pedestal. And I did decide to add some gems again to the eye socket. So for this one, since the eye sockets were so large, it's quite weird to say, but I did have to put quite a bit of hot glue in there. But again, I love the outcome. I think this is so fun. It's girly. It's such a fun, like girly twist to like, again, kind of a morbid piece of decor having like a skull. I know skulls are used in a lot of different decor, but I don't know. I feel like I only have like 1 skull decor piece, and this might be my second one. So yeah, I'm not totally sold on all that, but I thought it turned out great in the end. I really, really love this. And again, I'll be keeping my eyes out for more of these because I think they're great, and there are so many different possibilities that you could do with that actual piece. Again, it was only $1 from Dollar Tree. So to begin our next DIY craft project, you're going to need this really awesome plastic frame with this like kind of mirror skull image in it, again from Dollar Tree. You're also going to need some paper or some contact paper. I do have my marble like leftovers from this table right there in the back, or you could use glitter felt. It really is up to you, scrapbook paper, whatever you want. You're also going to need some scissors, a pencil, and of course some spray paint. So to begin, you're just going to start by taking your frame itself and sort of popping out that skull mirror image thing. We're going to be using that a little later on, so definitely hold on to that. But basically, I'm going in with my handy dandy trusty gold favorite spray paint that I use for literally everything, and I'm going to give it a nice coat of gold spray paint. There were spots that I missed on the first go round just because it is so ornate and so like detailed and stuff, and so I did have to go in and do a second coat just because I had to get in there and get some nooks and crannies painted with some gold paint. So as you can see here, it is beautiful. The spray paint does a great job as far as coverage goes. And then this is a shot of me doing the second coat. Sorry it's out of focus, I do apologize, but again, there were a lot of little details and things like that that I needed to get in there and give it a nice even coat. So yes, I love this so much. I want to go find more of these, but when I first bought this, I had an idea to take this one and to take the skull on a pedestal and sort of make them as a craft together, but it was not going to work. So as you can see here, this is just what the frame looks like painted gold, and now we're going to be using this like little skull like insert thing for the next part of this project. So I decided to go with my marble contact paper instead of my glitter felt from Hobby Lobby. So as you can see here, I am just sort of tracing it on the backside of the contact paper, and what's great about that is that it is already sticky, so I don't really need to deal with any glue or Mod Podge or anything like that. So basically, after I did trace it, I was now cutting it out, as you can see there. So this is so awesome. Contact paper is really fun to work with because again, it is sticky on the back, and if you get it wrong, like in the spot, you know, like not lined up correctly, you can always peel it back up and do like another set of it. You don't have to throw away your paper. It's not going to be like crinkled or anything like that. So it's really, really awesome. So as you can see here, this is that process. Now I'm going to be peeling it off of the backside, and as you can see, it is sticky. And here are the many attempts that I did at trying to get this straight and on top of the little skull and cardboard piece itself. So that is what that looks like. Finally got it all figured out, sort of smoothed out all of it, the little wrinkles in it. Now I'm cutting off the little excess pieces, and I'm just going to be popping it back in to the backside of the frame. I debated on actually painting the backside of the frame, but I decided I really didn't need to for the purpose that I'm going to be using this for. So as you can see here, did struggle to get it in there a little bit, but you will see it worked great. It fit perfectly back in there, even with the extra like thickness of the contact paper. So there it is. We have it in there. Ta-da! And now we have this really awesome counter tabletop tray. I love this. I think this is so great. So I know that there's not really a lot of Halloween elements to this actual piece, but you could totally add pieces like a little pumpkin or something else. Again, you could totally put the skull and pedestal on it, as you can see here. So that is just what that looks like. I just think this is so fun, so chic. There's so many different possibilities, and it just looks so expensive. It just looks like something you buy at like Home Goods or even Hobby Lobby even. So I thought it was great. I thought it turned out great. Here are just some still shots of what it actually looks like. And then this is just using it for like accessories and things. We've got a watch, some earrings, some lipstick, sunglasses, and even adding a pumpkin in there just to make it a little bit more Halloweenish. And it's also fun for fall time as well. So I was super happy with how that craft turned out, and I definitely want to go back and look for some more of those really awesome frames. So for our last and final DIY project, you're going to need quite a few supplies. So as you can see here, I do have 5 glass pumpkins from Dollar Tree. You're going to need an array of spray paint or just whatever colors you want. You don't need to have as many as I have, but I have pink, white, gray, gold, and I also have my clear acrylic spray. You're also going to need some glitter, some Mod Podge, some acrylic paint. I do have pink and gold. You're also going to need a sponge brush and just a regular plastic paintbrush as well. So to begin sort of customizing these really awesome glass pumpkins from Dollar Tree, as you can see here, I did take my pink spray paint and take 2 different shaped pumpkins, and I decided to spray paint those pink. So the pink ones definitely needed multiple coats just to sort of make them more opaque and pink. And as you can see here, I did take my other little orange pumpkin and turn it gold. So it's kind of interesting. I wasn't a huge fan of these pumpkins spray painted, like the little small ones. They kind of looked like little apples to me. But as you can see here, I did go in and give the pink ones a second coat. So that is what I'm doing right here. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. I was a little bit more like prone. I did like the taller ones a little bit better than this one with kind of the curly little stem, even though I love the stem on that one. So as you can see, I did take my other one and I did spray paint it white. I know it was already white, but I wanted the like stem and the leaf to match it as well. So as you can see here, this pumpkin is a little different. It doesn't match the original 5 that I had purchased. So basically, when I used my gray spray paint in the beginning, I did a second coat and it completely like shriveled up the paint. So you'll see a picture of that in a little bit. So I had to go buy a new pumpkin and spray it with just one one coat of the gray. So something again was wrong with the gray, and the white colors, they were just not that great. The cans might have been old or something. But as you can see here, I know I've been babbling for a little bit, but as you can see here, I am just taking my Mod Podge and adding little bits here and there to sort of accent the pumpkin. So I did the gold stem on the top of the pink one, and then I did the little leaf on the gold one with the gold glitter. And now I'm taking my pink acrylic paint, and I am just sort of taking a little detailed paintbrush and painting my stem pink. So as you can see, that's what I'm doing right here. It's kind of interesting. I love this color pink, like the paint, and it looks great. Even on this little gray one, it looks really, really awesome. But when you like let it dry, it kind of like almost oxidizes a little bit, and it is a little bit darker of a pink shade. It's a little bit more vibrant. So I might like in the future find a color that is a little bit lighter than that pink shade, and maybe it'll dry and be like the perfect shade. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, now I'm taking my pink pumpkin, and I did decide to add a white acrylic paint in there. I know again it wasn't in the original supplies list, but I wanted a white stem on one of the pink pumpkins. There was just a lot of gold and pink and stuff. So again, this is just like a glossy white paint, and I am just painting the stem. I did do multiple coats of the colors on the stems and whatnot, and this is the pumpkin that I think I don't like the most. So basically this gold color I thought would dry a little bit differently, but it does look a little bit more like darker than I wanted it to. I definitely wanted more of a metallic finish, and it is a little bit darker. It kind of looks like the exact same stem that I spray painted over with like that kind of darker brown color, but it's okay. It worked out in the end. But as you can see here, I did go in and do a second coat of pink on the little pink stems. And I think I also did the pink pumpkin with the white one again as well, just to add a nice second even coat to those. So yeah, I just love that little gray pumpkin. My original Dollar Tree, like my close Dollar Tree, did not have any of that style, so I was glad to find it at a separate Dollar Tree. But as you can see here, I am just taking my paintbrush and adding little white polka dots to the stem. It made it a little bit more likable in the end. But anyway, here are those gray pumpkins. So basically, again, my SD card got corrupted last night, so I was not able to show you the clip of me actually sealing in the glitter in the paint, but it did make my gray paint shrivel, and I was really upset about that. But as you can see, the old one is on the right and the new one is on the left. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a little bit of glitter, cover up the little shrivelly paint, and I think it will be a lot more doable. So here's just what they look like, all of them together. I don't completely hate them. They turn out a little bit differently than I was imagining, but in the end, they still look good. I'm still going to use them. And crafts are certainly like a trial run. You never really know how they're going to turn out, but again, I still think they turned out okay in the end.